Greetings, students, and welcome to your first lesson of how to write a book. This lesson will be called Demystifying Writing a Book. Let's begin. The thing I like about writing a book is there is no, technical formal format that you have to go by. You can basically set the book up how you want to, but there is certain things you need within a book. The basics like the table of contents, the introduction. Some people do a foreword. Some people do a preface. Of course, a novel is different than a regular, let's say self-help book. So there's certain things in there that certain books would need. Like some books don't need a prelude. No, others do. So other than that, there's no other kind of formal setup to a book besides, like I said, the table of contents, your introduction, your body, about the author. Author may have a page about upcoming books, previous books. Excuse me. I'm dealing with a cold and a cough. Sorry. So that's what I like about it. When you're going throughout school and academia, it's always a format. If you was a business student, you always had to write things using applied, research, problem statement, things like that. Everything had to be formatted in a certain way with your citations. You're using your APA format, or some people use MLA. So everything was focused on the structure of how you do things, and you had to do it because you was graded on it. But writing a book is much more simpler, and that's why, as you will learn later when I talk about turning a dissertation or a thesis into a book, it's much easier. It's really no excuse for someone who holds a doctoral degree not to have a book published, because they have to publish their dissertations or thesis anyway. It's already published. You already did all the footwork, all the research. So most of the hard work is done. So why not turn all of that work into a book and get credibility for it and get income for it? So writing a book is very simple. You basically choosing a subject that you are passionate about. That's why I said choose something that you are passionate about, because you're going to put more love into it. Remember, this is going to be your baby. This book is your baby. You got to nurture it, take care of it, put all your love into it. Why research and write about something you're not passionate about? Even when you're a doctoral student, they always tell you, research or choose a topic that you care about in a field that, you have interest about. It makes it easier. It makes the process more enjoyable, because it's still a dreadful process, but it'll be more enjoyable because you'll be doing it for something that you have passion about. If you have passion about children, you may want to write about child care, things like that. So with writing a book, it's just simple. You want to first pick you something that you're passionate about. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to do all the research possible on that subject, because writing a book is pretty much the same as doing research in school. And that's why I always say, that's just my personal thing. I used to always say that if a person wrote a book, they should have an honorary degree, an honorary doctor degree. That's how I feel. I feel like if a person has sat down and wrote a book that's 100 plus pages, they deserve an honorary doctor's degree. The reason why I say that is because when you're writing your dissertation, it's set up like a book. You have your course of introduction. You have all your various chapters, the methods that you use for research, all your framework, your problem statement, your hypothesis, and all of your findings. I mean, all of this detailed academia stuff, all your citations and the research you use and the reason why you're doing the research. You put all this detail into this. And basically, when you get done, you have 100 plus to 200 page dissertation. Most of them pages really are research. You can have, it's easy to have, 50 pages of citations for a dissertation. So it's pretty much a book. So if a person, on the other hand, has written a book, they pretty much did the same thing that a doctor did through a dissertation without the rigors of academia, if that makes sense. Not taking away nothing from a doctor, but I'm saying at the end of the day, you write a book. So if a person has did research on a certain topic, they had put detail and love into it and wrote 100 plus or 200 plus page book. They basically went through the process without the academia rigor. So they can be honorary doctor, in my opinion. But enough of that. So you're going to pick a topic, research everything known about that topic until you run into data saturation, which is when you just can't find nothing else more about that topic. You done found everything you possibly can. And this may be something you already learned detail about. You may even have all the books and the research already. Only thing you need to do is just put it on paper. So what you do is you're using simple Microsoft Word. You're going to turn that into the PDF. So you want to start off picking the title of your book. And you may have to go through different phases in which you change the title of your book. Your pen name is basically your author name. Your pen name can be a made-up name. It don't have to be a name. A lot of people like to remain anonymous, so they'll pick a name like Optimus or, Med Psych or some random crazy name, which is nothing wrong with that. Or you can use your real legal name as your pen name. And you pretty much, once you start gathering all this information, you break it down into sections, which will end up being your chapters. So if you did something on gardening, you will probably start off saying, your introduction, you may talk about seeds, then you might, talk about soil, then you may break it down into how to maintain your soil, how to maintain your plants once they grow, how to keep them clean and away from, other, bugs and things that tend to eat them, how to keep them clean, how to use environmental friendly cleaning chemicals that don't damage your plant, don't damage your soil or the atmosphere, daily maintenance. These are your chapters. And once you get your chapters in place, then you pretty much go into your conclusion and your back of the book contents. So writing a book is very simple. It's just going through the process. The hardest part you're going to find in writing a book, really, is once you start, uploading it, getting your cover design the way you want it with the dimensions and the measurements and things like that when you start uploading in places like Lulu and Amazon. And we will go through that and the following videos. Thanks for listening. I know it's a 10-minute video, but this is your first lesson. Thank you, students.